How we doing today, everybody? I'm Brewski111, and today I'm here to provide for you a free advanced audio setup for your live streaming and recording needs. And after this video, you'll have a better understanding of how your audio is being routed through OBS Studio and Voicemeeter Potato. And the audio that we're going to be separating today is our game audio, our game chat, our Discord chat, and Discord audio. Also our microphone, music, browser, Voicemod, Stream Deck, and sound alerts. So let's hop into it. All right, first things first, we're going to download all the programs and the virtual cables that I provide in the description down below. So let's open up our browser. We're going to be using OBS Studio today, so download that. We're also going to download our Voicemeeter Potato. I do want to say though, once you download Voicemeeter Potato, your Windows sound settings may change by default. All right, so just be very aware of that, and I would watch before you actually do it. So you want to download Voicemeeter Potato, and then I want to go over to this virtual audio cable. You want to download the VB cable here. Then we're going to scroll down, click on the hi-fi cable box. I want to download that as well. This does also come with an ASIO bridge. We will actually not be using the ASIO bridge today, just the hi-fi cable. The next is our virtual audio cable. We're going to download the light version, which is free. The trial version, the full version, do come with 256 more cables, but we only need the one extra cable. We're not actually going to be separating any audio on next cable, but in case you want to do that, that's for you. And we're also going to download Voicemod. We also have an NVIDIA broadcast, Discord. The browser that we use is Opera GX. This is the browser for gamers. And also for OBS Studio, we're going to download some plugins. The Studio Nova, we're going to download that using the Windows installer. This is just an EQ and it levels out your frequency for your voice. Then we also have our TDSer. This helps so your S's aren't so obnoxious. And then we have the Ulean loudest meter, which is basically just a metric for how loud your voice is going to be. And they do say or recommend that negative 23 lufs is where it should be at. Next, we're actually going to want to go to the Microsoft Store. So go to the Microsoft Store. The app that we use for our music is going to be MusicBee. So we download that. And we also want to download Trumpet. Trumpet is just another way to look at your Windows sound settings, which I think is more visually appealing. So you want to download that. Now that we have everything downloaded, you're going to pull up Voicemeeter Potato, your Windows sound settings, and also you want to pull up your Trumpet, okay? So you're going to right click and go to volume mixer. In Voicemeeter Potato, for your A1, you want to set as your headset. So that's where you're going to hear all your audio. And this middle strip over here, we're going to select the input device and select the hi-fi cable output, and also mark the A1 here because we're going to be sending the audio to your headset from the A1. Then under your Windows sound settings, you want to make sure your hi-fi cable input is the default playback device under the playback tab. And then also you want to make sure that your browser is under the hi-fi cable input. So find your browser here, and you want to right click on the application, hit the double arrow, and always use the default playback device. And the way you get your application to show up here is if you just have it running. So make sure your app is running. Next, what you're going to do is you want to check all your cables. So therefore, you want to right click in the Windows sound settings. You want to right click on the cable, go to properties, and then you want to go to advanced. You want to make sure all your cables are listed at the 48,000 hertz. That's very important. You want to make sure they're all the same. Whether you use 48,000 hertz or the 44,100 hertz, just make sure they're all the same. And so while we're here, we're going to head on over to the recording tab, scroll down to your physical microphone. You want to right click on that as well. Obviously, make sure the hertz is correct. And then for levels, I set mine at 77. This is a good middle ground for my voice to be sent to Voicemeeter, OBS Studio, Voicemod, and Discord. So find your middle ground. You may have to play with this later. Next, we're going to go up to the NVIDIA broadcast mic, right click, and then you want to set this as your default device as well. And then since we just did that, we're actually going to want to open up our NVIDIA broadcast application. You want to set your microphone as your physical mic, which is our Yeti Nano today. And then I actually do use the built-in noise removal, and I set that at about 85% or so. It actually gets rid of a lot of the background noise. And back over to Voicemeeter Potato, under the first strip, which is actually going to be labeled as strip 0. We're going to be setting this as the NVIDIA broadcast mic. So you just left click and select the mic there. And if you want to retitle that, you right click on the title, type it in, and press enter. And we are setting that strip to B1, B2, and B3. B1 is our Voicemeeter output, B2 is our Voicemeeter aux output, and B3 is our Voicemeter VAIO3 output. So our B1, I actually labeled the little bar over here as OBS track 6 because I'm sending everything to Voicemeter output, and that is what we are using for our track 6 in OBS, and that is just where our Twitch VODs will be saved. And then our B2 is for our Discord, and B3 is for our in-game chat. Yeah, I'll give you a little example here. So when I go over here, voice and video, for our input device, we are using the Voicemeeter aux output. So anything I send to B2, it's going to be sending to the input device on Discord. And then our output device is where we're receiving the friend's chat, and that is going to be going right to the Voicemeeter aux input line. So the moment I click this, we are now talking to ourselves, and our audio is coming through the Voicemeeter aux input. So that's just a quick little example for Discord, and that same thing will be for your in-game chat. Okay, so anything you sent to B3 will be sent to your in-game chat. I'll show you guys a little cool little trick that I did the other day. So I was playing Rocket League, and I was in an in-game voice chat with my friend, and I was also in a Discord chat with my other buddy. My one friend who was in the in-game chat, he was on PlayStation, and he didn't feel like getting on Discord. So all I did was I pressed one button on my Stream Deck, and I was able to now send the audio from my in-game chat to Discord chat, and the Discord chat to the in-game chat. So those friends were actually able to communicate through me as the middleman. And I did that by sending the in-game chat to B2 and the Discord chat to B3. And I can do that with one button press. All right, and then moving right along to strip 1 over here. We do have Voicemod, and I can press one button, and now you guys are listening to Voicemod. All right, because if you want to select the input, select the microphone there. We already did the second strip here. The third strip is going to be the cable output. This is going to be for our in-game voice chat. And then we have our fourth strip is the extra cable, which we will not be separating any audio there today. Next strip, strip 5, is the Voicemeeter input VAIO. We use this for our Discord audio. And then our next strip is a Discord chat, which is the Voicemeeter aux input. And then the game audio, we're sending that to the VAIO3 from Voicemeeter. I'm also going to show you my EQ for my microphone. That's just how I have mine set up. Everyone's going to be different. I think my voice sounds okay. I'm probably going to be changing this in the future. But if you want, you can copy paste for that. Also, under the IntelliPan, there's a little graph here. You can right click to change it. I do only use the color panel, and I just make my voice a little deeper by setting it under the low side. And then you can also go under the gate or the compression, right click, and it has a bunch of different little filters that you can use for your microphone. And like I said, these are being sent to everything but my live stream in OBS Studio. My live stream in OBS Studio, I'll be using the OBS filters for that. All right, so next we're going to head over to the Voicemeeter Potato menu, and if you want, you can check mark what I have checked as well. I do have mine running in the system tray, and I have it running on the Windows startup. I do use the macro buttons, and I actually hook up my Stream Deck to activate these macro buttons. And the macro buttons, all they do is help out with changing your A's and B's and activating them or deactivating them. So in case if I want to use the Voicemod, that is what I do, is I press one button, and then that activates. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to head back into the menu here and go into the system settings and options, and notice how everything here is at 48,000 hertz, and that's because we want everything to be the same as we set up in our Windows sound settings. And if you want to double check some things for all your cables, what you're going to want to do is you go into the File Explorer, open that up, and we're going to want to go to where we have our cables downloaded. So we go to our local disk C, we want to go to Program Files, and then we're going to go down to the VB, then we want to get the cable, and we want to get the control panel. All right, open that up. That is for the VB cable, and then we're going to have to locate the other cables that we have. So we're actually going to go back to the local disk C, go to Program Files 86, scroll down to VB, Voicemeeter, scroll down. You want to find the control panels here. So for the VB cable, this is actually the Voicemeeter input cable. Scroll down again. We want to find the aux cable. All right, and then we also want to find the VAIO3 cable. There we go. Right, so now we got those. And then last but not least, we actually want to open up our Audio Bridge. Audio Bridge, open that up. All right, so notice how I have everything the same. So in Voicemeeter Potato, I have the 48,000 hertz, 6144 for each of the cables. So that's what we're going to be doing with all these. So the first one with our VB cable, it's 6144. And if you want to change that, you just go to Options, set the sampling right here, and then you also want to set your max latency to the same, 6144. And you want to do that with each of these cables, okay? So it's 48,000 hertz, 6144, or whatever works best for you. You can trial and error and see where the last static comes into play for you, but I found that the 48,000 hertz and the 6144 sample rate works best. So you want to do that for each. And then with our Audio Bridge, you want to change that to the 6144 as well. Now what we're going to do is open up all of our applications to make sure all of our audio is being routed to the correct virtual cables. I just want to give you guys a quick little reminder that the hi-fi cable input is basically your new desktop audio that you're going to be using for most of your applications. Okay, because in OBS Studio, there is something called an application audio output capture, and this is going to capture any audio from a specific application. That's why in Voicemeeter Potato, we had to separate our game audio from our game chat and the Discord audio from the Discord chat. Because if you were just to use that audio application in OBS Studio, it'll capture all of the audio from your game and your chat on one line. So therefore, that's why we have it separated in Voicemeeter Potato. Okay, so first application that we're going to open up is our NVIDIA Broadcast. And for the speakers, you want to make sure we're sending that to the hi-fi cable input. For Voicemod, you're going to want to use your microphone NVIDIA Broadcast mic for your input. And then for the output, you're going to want to use the hi-fi cable input. Our next one that we're going to do is our music. Music is the same thing as the hi-fi cable input. Then we're going to open up our game, which we're going to be using Call of Duty today. We're going to want to send our speakers. We're going to send that to the Voicemeeter VAIO3 input. And then our voice chat output device, we're sending that to the regular cable input. Not the hi-fi cable, but the regular cable input. Then our microphone input device, we're using the VAIO3 output. Oh, and I just wanted to show you guys one more thing for Discord audio. When you do play a video, it'll show up on your Trumpet where it's being played. So when I click play, it's going to show it's playing on our Voicemeeter input, okay? If yours is not being played on your Voicemeeter input, you want to go and find Discord where the audio is being played, right click, click the arrows, and make sure you send that to the Voicemeeter input. All right, so therefore it's going to be sending it right over here to this strip. We will go over the Stream Deck audio and the Sound Alerts audio after we set up our OBS Studio. And you guys are actually going to open OBS Studio in admin mode. Once you get that open, we're going to go right into the file and settings. Right, and then I'm just going to let you guys copy what I have here. Right, and this is the general tab. And then the stream tab, that's where you want to connect your live streaming accounts. And then over to the output mode, we want to set that to advanced. And then streaming settings, we're setting all of our live stream to track 5. And then our Twitch VOD is going to track 6. Video encoder, choose your graphics card. And then rate control, CBR. Bit rates can be 6000. That's usually what Twitch allows at its max. Going to head over to the recording tab. The recording path here is where your videos will be saved. I use a .mkv format. Once again, we're using our NVENC. And then for the audio checks, so we're going to be checking all 6 boxes. So therefore we can edit any of our audio that we're setting to any of our tracks. And then the only thing difference here for the recording tab is the bitrate. You can put that up to 20,000. That's probably going to be the best quality for your videos for when you're recording. And then over to the audio tab, you want to set this to 320 or 128, whatever works best for you. And then the replay buffer, I always enable this. It's up to you how long you want it to go for. So what this does, whenever I go over here and click the replay buffer, the timer starts now. So in about 40 seconds, if I were to click this arrow to save it, it'll save the previous 40 seconds from when I click this arrow. And as long as the replay buffer is running, every time I click this arrow to save, it saves the prior 40 seconds. I'm going to go back into the settings here. For our audio tab, you want to set the sample rate the same as you set as your cables. All right, so if you use the 44-100 hertz, choose that. We did the 48,000, so I'm going to choose the 48 kilohertz here. And then we're going to disable all of our global audio devices. This is important here. In the advanced tab for the monitoring device, we want to set that as our hi-fi cable input. I don't use any hotkeys for audio. And then for video, we do use a 2560 by 1440 monitor, but we are sending the video as a 1920 by 1080. And then our downscale filter is Langzos, and then the common FPS values, we're using 60. If you find yours works better at 30, say yours is 30. I don't use hotkeys or accessibility. And then under the advanced tab, you want to process priority normal. You can copy what I have here. I do remix mine to an MP4, and you also want to enable browser source hardware acceleration over here, and this is up to you if you want to check this for dynamically changing the bitrate to manage congestion. Now time for the fun part. We're going to be adding all of our audio sources in OBS Studio. So make sure under Docs, you have your sources and your audio mixer checked because you're going to want both of them up and running. So first, we're going to add our game audio, and you want to go to the plus sign on the sources and add your audio output capture. And notice how I have all of mine labeled to which track they're going to. So for the game audio, you're going to want to go for the properties. You want to set it to VAIO3 input. Next, we're going to add our microphone. So we're going to do that audio input capture. And then we're going to be using our NVIDIA broadcast mic. Then we're going to add that again, okay? So audio input capture, and then we're going to add the second microphone as the NVIDIA broadcast. And I'll say to mute that one for now. Next, we're going to add our game chat. So the game chat is going to be another output capture. All right, and we're going to be setting that to the cable input. Next, we have our Discord chat, so add another output capture. And then for our Discord chat, we are using the aux input. After our Discord chat, we are going to be putting in our Voicemod microphone for when we do switch to use our Voicemod mic. So you want to add input capture, and then you want to select your Voicemeeter VAIO3 output. And next, we're going to be adding our browser audio. So therefore, you want to add application audio output capture. And once you do that, it's going to come up with this screen. You want to go down to the session, find your browser, click on the browser, and then add executable, and then click OK. All right, and we're going to do the same thing with our music app. So you want to add the application audio output capture. All right, and then for the music, obviously you want to do the same thing. Select your music under the session, add executable, click OK. Next is going to be our sound alerts, and sound alerts is going to be a little different. We're actually going to have to add that twice. One is going to be for the visual animation of it, and then the other is going to be for the audio. So what I have here, we're going to go to the plus sign and add your browser. All right, add browser, and then it's going to be for sound alerts. So the first one that we're going to do, you want to check mark the control audio via OBS, okay? And the URL, we get this by going to our actual sound alerts account, go under settings, you go to setup. Then we're using OBS Studio, so click I use OBS Studio. They use the use copy and paste method. All right. And then you want to copy the URL right where it says URL. All right. Then you want to do the same thing again. You want to add the same URL. At this time, just do not check the control audio via OBS. And then you actually want to hide this one. Now we're going to test to see if our sound alerts is working. Just want to give you guys a quick little heads up. There might be a little inception here because I'm going to be displaying my OBS Studio itself. All right, so there we go. And now we're going to go into our sound alerts and we're going to test in browser source. All right. All right. And there it is. We have the display and we can hear the volume. Perfect. And if you were able to hear your sound alerts, you want to make sure that it was being sent to the right cable as well. So when you do play the sound from sound alerts, all right, we're going to do it again here. Sound alerts, we play it, right? It's going to be playing from this little icon here. It's going to be the OBS browser page. And you want to make sure you're setting that to the hi-fi cable input. Next is going to be our stream deck. And you want to go to the plus sign, add audio output capture. And once you do that, the stream deck, you just have to be very careful here. Because normally if you do select the stream deck, sometimes I've noticed that my audio does get mixed up and it goes to like the Voicemod output. And I do not want that. So I actually send my stream deck audio to NVIDIA broadcast. And like I said, after I set this up, I will show you how I get the stream deck to be sending the audio to the NVIDIA broadcast app. All right, so I choose the NVIDIA broadcast and add executable, click OK. Next, we're going to be adding our actual voice mod. So therefore, if we want to use a soundboard for voice mod, we want to go to plus sign and we're going to add output capture. And then for the voice mod, it's just going to be the actual line. So this is actually our strip one that we have. All right, it's the same strip, it's the same line. Next, we're going to do our Discord audio. So therefore, we want to add an output capture, add audio output capture, and the properties. We're going to do the Voicemeeter input. And then this last one, it's going to be an audio input capture. And this one is going to be everything that's being sent to B1. Everything that B1 is sending to the Voicemeeter output. That is what that's receiving, as well as anything that we select in track 6. So anything we select in track 6, if you go to the gear sign here for the advanced audio properties, everything in track 6 is also going to our Twitch VODs. And since we're in the advanced audio properties, I just want to let you guys see how I have mine all set up. And like I said, I've labeled mine all with the tracks that they're going to be sent to already. Here's a quick little overview of how I have mine set up. So for the sync offset, you may have to like trial and error this when you're editing your videos. So you may notice that your mouth may not be matching your audio. And so by syncing the offset, whether you're ahead or behind, this is how you're going to want to offset it. So therefore it looks proper for the viewer. So you just have to trial and error for yourself. Every system is different in the latency. So the last thing we're going to touch upon in OBS Studio is adding our mic filters. What you're going to want to do is head down to your mic source and hit the 3 dots and go to filters. And I just want to give you guys a quick heads up. Everybody's voice and system is different, so take my settings with a grain of salt. But I do want to let you know the order of your filters does make a huge difference, so be very aware of that when you're adding your filters. We'll run quickly through mine, so you just get a basis of how my audio is set up. So first I have a noise gate, then I use a TDR Nova, and this is how mine looks. I'm just going to run through this real quick. This is the high pass, okay? Then we have the first one, second, third, fourth, and the low pass. All right, and if you guys want to see these bars come up, just hit the out over here. Our next filter is going to be our TDSer. This is how mine's looking. And then I use an upward compressor, then I use an expander, compressor, 3-band equalizer. The gain, I can always, raise or lower this if I like, but for right now I'm just going to keep it where I had it. A limiter, so it doesn't go over a maximum threshold. And then the U-lean loudness meter, and this is just so when you are actually doing your own settings, you can see where your volume is, and you can make changes depending on your own mic settings. All right, now I'm going to show you guys the Stream Deck audio to make sure you're routing it to the NVIDIA broadcast. If you have a Stream Deck, you're going to find an open button here. You're going to go to a soundboard, or you're going to want to play some sort of audio from your Stream Deck. So we're going to play audio. We're going to drag this in here. We're just going to find a random file here. We have a heartbeat here, all right? So you have the heartbeat, and you actually can go down here if you want, and you can switch the output this way. I actually prefer to change it over in the ear trumpet. So I'm going to press the button, and you're going to hear the heartbeat. All right, and then you're going to see where the Stream Deck is actually playing the audio, okay? And just like before, you want to find where the audio or the Stream Deck is. Click on the arrows and then make sure you send it to the NVIDIA broadcast, and then that's set up right there for you. Another thing I'm going to want to go over for you guys is how to create a multi-action for your Voicemod, so therefore everything flows smoothly with your live stream and for your own audio. All right, but the first thing that we're going to want to do is download some plugins. Click on the keyboard on the Stream Deck, and then first one that we're going to want to download is the Voicemeeter integration here, so you want to install that. You're also going to want to install the Voicemod plugin. And then another one that you're going to want to do is the OBS tools, and you want to download that as well. And once you have all those downloaded, first thing we're going to want to do is create a multi-action switch. Throw that in there. I actually have one created already for this, so I'm going to show you guys mine. First thing that we're going to do on this first page, it's going to be the same on both these actions here. So on the first one, you want to go to your macro buttons. So we're going to add a macro button toggle. Throw that in there. Next, we're going to do OBS tools, and we're going to input 4 input toggles. So throw 4 of those in there. And then we're also going to want to do our Voicemod microphone, mute on or off. All right, you want to throw that in there as well. And for the OBS tools, you want to go to the input name, and you want to do the mic change that I have labeled. Okay, you're also going to want to do the T2 mic record. You want to do the T25 mic out and the T56 voice mod. All right, you want to activate all those. And then for the macro buttons, this is actually what it's going to look like. This is what you're going to want to do. And how you pull that up is for your macro buttons, you right click on a button. And this is going to be the code that you're going to want to be putting into your strips as well. All right, boom. And then, like I said, you're going to do the same thing on the second page, same setup. And don't want to forget to mention the fact that the logical IDs for your macro buttons start with 0. So the first one over here is actually 0, and then it goes to 1 and then 2. And I have mine set up for logical ID 2 for my voice mod. Now I'm going to show you guys how this all coordinates and it flows very smoothly. So on the bottom left here, we have our audio mixer, and then we have our Voicemeeter potato and Voicemod. And we're going to activate Voicemod. Bam! All right. Notice in Voicemeeter potato, B1, B3 become on in strip 1, and B1, B3 are off in strip 0. And then our audio mixer, notice what changes down here. It's going to be our T2 mic record, and our T45 mic change is going to come on. And then we're going to be muting our T25 mic out and also our T56 voice mod. All right, check that out. See that change. And also we do activate the microphone in voice mod. So we want to make sure that goes on when we activate Voicemod. And so another thing that we can do is we can actually create a Voicemod soundboard. So if you want, you can go to the Stream Deck and add a soundboard from Voicemod. And then we're going to select a random sound. Okay, we're going to do the jiggle jiggle. And then I'm actually going to play that for you.
I have
so see how that is coming from the T56 line. All right. And then another thing that we can do is play the song from our Stream Deck itself, like our Sad Sponge. And notice how it's coming from the Stream Deck line. And everything is on its own volume line. Everything's separated and everything is looking awesome. Don't forget to hit that like button. And thanks so much for sticking around for the whole video. And I hope this helps you on your journey to becoming a content creator and being able to separate your audio freely. I'm still new at this content creation and have a lot to learn. Feel free to reach out and ask any questions, and maybe we can learn some new things together. Catch my socials.